Alex Warnock arrived early for his meeting with freelance reporter Randy Holman, so he funneled the energy of the live Celtic violin duo on stage into a spirited sail through the mall's food court in search of spicy smells. He stepped away from the counter of the new Indian kitchen after ordering the chicken vindaloo special and pivoted to face the cafe area. "That was Fitzwater and Collins," the young man at the mic said when they'd finished, smiling appreciatively at the duo. "Let's give the ladies another round of applause while they pack up. If you enjoy them as much as I did, come on up and buy one of their CDs." Alex winced when someone jabbed him on the shoulder. The bearded man behind him gestured toward his newly filled tray. "Hey, wake up! Your lunch is ready." He mumbled an apology and returned to the counter. While he was getting utensils and condiments, he noticed the picture on the cover of the Guy's Scandal magazine. Rachel Gwynn, the naked journalist whose reputation had recently been trashed, decimating the ranks of her until then dedicated following. "So, tell me," he asked evenly, "why do you think she gave in to those bullies? Why the hell do you think? The bitch knew she was beaten. Serves her right for sticking her nose where it didn't belong." He dropped the magazine on the counter. "Here, read it for yourself. I was going to toss the rag anyway." Alec tucked the crumpled magazine under his arm and headed back towards the stage, where the next act was getting ready to start. He'd asked Holman to meet him here in time to hear Anushka's Lament, the song that Union Dues was slated to open with, but so far he hadn't turned up. The front table was empty, so he got comfortable and dug into his vindaloo while the band sang in the sad tale of a young Russian immigrant and the choices she'd been forced into. By the time Holman finally arrived, the band was halfway through their set, and Alec was slurping the last of his mango lassi. "So what's this all about, anyway?" the reporter wheezed as he fell breathlessly into the chair opposite Alex, his back to the stage. "What was so important that I had to be here 2 on the dot? Which you didn't bother to do, I might point out. I was busy on another story. Sue me. So what is it?" Alec handed him the band's flyer. "Look at their opening number. Does the name ring a bell?" "No. Should it?" "Well, considering how much time you've spent researching Rachel Gwynn's downfall, I thought you might at least have learned her first name." He shook his head. "What? Look, just because her name's similar to the one in the song doesn't mean—" "Anushka," Alex said sharply, sliding the scandal rag across the table, "was Anushka Rachel Gwynn's grandmother. She let those bastards ruin her career to protect her family." Holman craned around to look the band over for a few seconds and then shook his head derisively. "A song lyric, huh? And how do you know that there's any truth to whatever story they sing about her?" Alec leaned towards his guest. "Look, considering how small a following you have at the naked journalist site you work through, I don't think you have much call to accuse one of your own followers of goose-chasing you, especially on a story that's so central to your focus." All right, he said, raising his hands defensively. "I'll hear you out, but I'm still going to have to confirm whatever lead you think you've got through other sources. So what's this song about anyway, and how does it explain why she let those creeps roll over her like that?" The band had just finished a rousing song about the Carnegie steelworkers who were massacred by Pinkerton security thugs during the Homestead strike in 1892, so Alec joined the crowd in an encouraging round of applause before launching into his story. He had just started to explain how he'd noticed similarities between the events in Anushka's Lament and some offhand comments that Holman had pulled together about Gwynn's background when Holman made a face. "You've got to be kidding, right?" Alex stared at him dumbly. "Look, I don't have time for conspiracy theories. Anyone can cherry-pick a few facts here and there to craft whatever pattern they want, but that doesn't mean there's anything to it. Okay, I'll lay it out for you. But I don't see why I should be coaching a journalist I'm supposed to be following." "You don't, huh? Did you happen to notice that the model of journalism that Truslant pioneered couldn't work without the active participation of our followers? That's the whole point of naked journalism, to crowdsource the publishing context and jettison the constraints of working for some corporation with who knows what ties to the people and the organizations we cover. So spill." "Sure, but I'll start at the beginning, with Rachel Gwynn's grandmother, Anushka. She was born in 1917, right after the October Revolution. By the time she was a teenager, her folks had become staunch anti-Stalinists and gave little Anushka early training in mass actions. She joined them in voicing their opposition to the General Secretary's growing power and his use of coercion to bring non-Russian republics into the USSR. Oh, right, Holman said, like she had any choice in the matter. She was just a kid after all. Exactly. And that set her up for being drawn into situations beyond her control for the rest of her life. That's why she always seemed to get herself into defensive situations, why she was never in control of her life, just like the fix her granddaughter got into. Holman glanced around the food court in annoyance. Oh, for the love of... What planet do you live on, anyway? Reporters are never in charge of the situations they cover. Alex straightened. Maybe not the situations they cover, he said, but a good reporter had damn well better be able to maintain control of the interview, or he'll end up being used as a transcriptionist like all the sycophants who helped the Bush-Cheney administration get away with so much crap. Forgive my French, but that may be why you are still working through a second-tier naked journalist site rather than a major aggregator like Gwen did before she was attacked. The journalist angrily rose to his feet, palms still planted on the table. That was uncalled for. If you're going to insult me, then there's no point in going any further. The MC suddenly appeared and snapped his fingers at them. If you two can't be civil, he said tightly, you'll have to take your squabble elsewhere. We're trying to run a cafe here.